This is a tutorial on how to install Ubuntu Studio, or in other words, Linux. The steps are listed out in here. All of this right here isn't really part of the steps, it's just simply saying what it's for. This is what you'll need to install it right here. A 16GB thumb drive or more. Computer or a computer, it doesn't matter, desktop or laptop. As for how to install, I did type this out myself in Notepad. So I'm going to be putting this in the description as well. If my voice isn't clear or you don't hear a step, I will be reading these out loud. I will not be doing them because I don't feel like having Linux on. I don't need Linux on my Windows right now. First, go and download the ISO or image file, which you will see after I minimize my screen in a short while. That would be this right here. What you want to do is go to Ubuntu Studio's website. Hold on a minute. Okay, what we're going to go to Ubuntu Studio's website and then press download. Or you can go to the download tab and select which one you want. Now, you can't boot this from DVD. I don't really recommend it. I mean, you can go to the website, check it out. It should have those steps listed as well. But if you want to install it on your own Windows, just click the download button. I don't know how it works on Mac because I've never used a Mac in my life. Actually, I have once, but it was like 2 minutes. That's it. And it was at a school, and I was trying to learn how to do something on there for accessibility wise for someone else. But what you want to do after that is you want to go to, well, actually, I don't want to go anywhere. You actually want to go and, well, you want to then go into files and move it onto the 16GB thumb drive ISO image you get from it. And after that, you want to turn off your computer. Well, after you move the ISO image or the file that you just downloaded onto your thumb drive, you want to turn off your computer and go into boot options. For Dell, I'm pretty sure it's F12, but other computers have different ways to boot. Look yours up on Google or whatever. Use the keyboard to select USB boot or USB boot. What I mean by that is like it'll have options. It'll have boot from SATA port, boot from your hard drive, boot from CD/DVD. If your USB thing doesn't appear in the USB boot, try shutting your computer off again, going back, switching your ports, and then going back into the USB boot or replugging it in. I've had this happen to me on my laptop once or twice. Not often. It shouldn't happen. If it does, then try that. After you go on the boot, try to read this here. Type this out for a reason, mainly for me, but for you all as well. Okay, so after that, you're going to be greeted with a menu. Now, I'll put this in here as a side note, right here. I'm going to highlight it all in blue. If error on boot, this has happened to me, because I've done this from time to time. If it doesn't boot, go into your BIOS, which is, I actually need to capitalize this, because it is technically supposed to be capitalized, so I'm going to do that. No, I want to put F. So, BIOS. What this stands for is basically BIOS, which is a basic input-output system. That's literally what it stands for. Ones and zeros. That's basically it. Now, by hitting F2 if you're on a Dell, if you're on a computer, look it up on Google, because there's a certain key to get into your BIOS. But if you go hit F12 on your keyboard, or whatever your computer is, select Legacy Boot or UEFI. Whichever one isn't select that one. So if you have Legacy, select UEFI. If you have UEFI, select Legacy. I don't really know what the difference between two. I know it affects the boot somehow. I need to look it up later on. I don't really have that info right now. And you can read this here. If I'm going too fast for you, or if you're not understanding me. That is why I typed most of this out. And to give me something to go off, someone is going on an endless rant on how to install this. Because I found out before my videos that when I rewatched them, that I wasn't as, I guess, precise per se, whenever I went over how to install stuff. Now, next you want to select, well, after error there is a warning, as you can see clear right here, that warning. A reason for this, when you press on the next step, this next step is actually installing Linux on your phone, or on your machine, or computer, or desktop, or whatever you have. You will be deleting whatever OS you have on there. It will, whether it's Windows, I don't know how Macs work, but if it can install it on Mac, you'll be deleting your Mac OS. You'll be deleting any operating system you have. Whoops. But you'll be deleting any operating system you have. And it will be gone for pretty much ever. Now, after that, you'll be ready with after that warning, you'll be ready with a menu once you put in the Linux. I don't know what the menu is because I didn't really take a picture of it or anything, but what you want to do is, I know it has an option to boot in the Linux, or it might not. I don't remember. I think it does, but when you boot in the Linux, you want to go to boot. Sorry, excuse me. You want to go into boot Ubuntu Studio. Next on the boot, I didn't include this in this, but I was trying to speak very slowly, and I'll add this in here. So pop up a message if you want to install. Now, I'm not for certain on that. It's been a while since I installed Ubuntu Studio on any of my stuff. Last time I did that, I uninstalled because it wasn't usable for me because of accessibility, which I need, because I am visually impaired and have a hard time screen to screen. But next, select, you either come up with an option to install, or it will have an option on the desktop. And what a desktop is, and I'll show you right now what I mean by desktop, is all of this. This, what I'm having to blue, is a desktop. Pretty much your main place you go after you log in on Windows. Now, after you hit install, it'll walk you through process. I'll let that do itself. I'm not even going to explain that, because that does a pretty good job of explaining itself. Now, before you do install, what this is for, it's for if you are a video editor, photographer, and like to edit photos, sound editor or maker, music maker, painter, artist, or anything. Now this does come with OBS. It does come with Blender, which is what I use, not for editing, because I haven't really figured out how to use it yet. So mine are just not really non-edited videos, but that's pretty much what it's used for. It'll take some time to get used to it. It isn't really like, it's like Windows, but it's slightly different than Windows. Just like any other Linux distro, you use the terminal to install stuff. That's optional. Or you just install stuff like you would Windows. As for the rest of it, there isn't really nothing much to really say as of installment wise. I'm trying to find, I know there's something I'm missing. I just don't know what it is. Oh, CDs. If you're ever type persons like me, and there's a bunch of CDs lying around, and they are 700 megabytes, they will not work. Unless you have like an insane amount of gigabytes on a DVD or something. that you somehow got. I don't know how that works, but yeah. Now for Linux Mint, you can just put it on a DVD and install it that way. Easy, simple. I keep backups of Linux Mint, which is what I use on my other laptop sometimes. There is a way to dual boot, and there's also a way to have both OSs on one device. I'm not going to go into that because that isn't my expertise, but I'm just going to tell you from personal experience that it seems somewhat complicated, not very. That is it for this tutorial, and I hope it helped a lot of people. I'm going to be going out, and I hope I'll be including this in the description. Alright, actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy and paste this right now. Control A, Control, let's see, Control C. But I'm going to paste this in the description as well. Hope this helps. If you like it, like it. If you subscribe, feel free to subscribe. If you'll look at my other video that I had on here about subscribing, it's a little bit of a rant, but what it's about is if you subscribe, it does not mean YouTubers get paid. I would like to make that clear. Neither does likes nor comments. All that comes from ads. You can look at that in the other video, or another video, not the other. But yeah, that's about it. I hope that helps. So, see y'all. I'm gonna be signing off. Whoops.